we're all human. On the basic level, we're all human. And I'm not unique in my feelings or experiences. I just need to make sure that I tell them in a manner that means people can understand, because we're communicators. And when working with a brand about a story that's close to my heart, I just need to understand, what is the brand's view? What is the brand's relation to what I'm saying? And if there isn't one, I often won't do it, just because then it's insincere.
Yeah.
And yes, there's money involved and there's things like this, but at the end of the day, you're creating an image that's insincere. And like I said, we're all human. We will pick up on it. Like, some of the best ads in history are created because of synergy, of authenticity. If people are just doing things for very shallow reasons, that's why things fail.
Yeah.
But it's just, if I'm inputting into myself, into my own knowledge, my own health, it's very easy for me to work with brands because I have a life to offset to them. But if I'm just running on empty, I usually get jobs because of my life experience, not because, I can just light a photo and do this. That's great.
You
but
like slip into something,
Yeah, and I got taught very young, like, every client I meet, I should leave a meeting teaching them something. But if I have nothing to teach or nothing to give, then it's just two people talking about nothing.
It's very wise, yeah. And now you know how to bake cakes and drive, so if anyone out
I
here...
can drive. I wouldn't eat my cooking.
Okay, but you're getting there.
Yeah,
Delali, I wanted to ask about making meaning, and I guess the same kind of question I added on as well is like making meaningful work, and you draw so much from your interior world, your personal world, and then the tension between kind of doing the commercial side of that.
I would say meaning generally is attached to a photograph once you feel someone's value systems behind them, whether you agree or disagree with them. But I think often, like, you can feel like a deeper essence or a meaning behind a photograph when you can tell that someone has a very strong value system that they're following. And I think often it's even better when this value system is based on honesty and integrity. I think that's often when an image really resonates with people. So that's what I try to do when I create work. And I do feel this as well. I'm very much kind of learning this bridge between commercial work and personal work. And I mean, it's so tricky. It's, I definitely agree that you need to have a natural kind of, you need to have natural values that align to be able to attach meaning to commercial work and personal work. So you need to have natural values with a brand that align, where you can kind of, create synergy on the commercial side. But I do find it really, really tricky. On the personal work side, it's very much about speaking your own truths, have knowing kind of what place you come from to then attach meaning to work. But the commercial world, it's something I'm really learning as well, and it's really tricky, and I think it's a lot about confidence and knowing kind of what you stand for, and then being able to confidently say yes and no as well, which is absolutely not easy, especially when you kind of come newly to an industry and you feel like you should be saying yes to everything.
Sometimes no is the most powerful word, right?
Exactly, and it can be much more empowering as well. And then definitely returning to yourself as well, like you said, doing the mundane things or building a routine. Being able to always draw back on that, and that enables you to then give back into your work too.
And Alessia, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this, because you operate, again, we're in an editorial space, sometimes working with commercial partners.
Exactly. First of all, again, I'm lucky I'm at Vogue and not some, so the clients that we have are in line with our ethos. I mean, I'm known for my integrity in my work. And I have said no to jobs if I feel that they're not aligned with my values. Now, I do believe that it's a wrong thing to make this distinction. I don't like labeling and saying that's commercial and that's editorial. The jobs that we do, and creative jobs, are about collaboration a lot. And you guys know, you work together with a team, and there's always something that great that comes out of it. And if you think even in the past, like the Sistine Chapel was commissioned. You know, it's like this idea that personal work, commercial work. You know, it depends, because there are some very enlightened brands that, like, I remember when Alessandro Michele was at Gucci, I did a series of commercial projects for him that I'm not calling commercials, because they were incredible. Or even with you, we've done so many things, right? Puig, other things that were. So, you know, I don't see this difference. Also, if you think about, that's something I always say, you think about when an image is inside a magazine. Now, we're not talking about advertisement, but even editorials, right? The fashion, when you see it in the magazine, it's also advertising that piece of clothing, because you could go and buy it. But after 6 months, if the image is a good image, and it stands there, and you know, the clothes is just part of the story, like Avedon, Pen, they're images that were done for advert. Think about some of the ads in the 90s that were like, wow, you know. I don't see this, I don't like these labeling things.
That's a really good point.
And I think it's more about, as both were saying, trying to even say some no, and you know, sometimes it's hard and you keep going, but do not do things with people who are, like, I hate when someone, like a client, comes there and say, I want to work with Roversi, but I want Roversi to do Jürgen Teller. No.
Roversi's like, going to do what he wants to do.
No, you know, no, I mean, it's like sometimes they don't understand. It's like, okay, they want that name, but then they want that name to do something different. So that's like main thing that I always say is, like, you want to work with someone, you work with that someone because you recognize that style, that particular, you know, and you let them do what they are good at it, you know, and I fight for that all the time, because then clients can be. But yeah, I don't see that difference so much.
I think that's just to build on that. I think that's one of the hardest things to almost unlearn when you like start from doing your own projects and then enter like a commercial work or more like, more professional work, because you almost feel like it's almost resisting to adapt to processes that came before you, and kind of being like, people are hiring me because of how I've worked this whole time, and I'm bringing something new to it, and that's what makes me special. And I think that's a real confidence exercise. And it's something you really have to build. It's almost like an athlete, you know, like you need to be in the right mindset before you step into the ring, and to have a really like firm mind, to be like the lines between like my personal world and commercial work are not, you know, they're actually not there, and they shouldn't really be there. And it's a real challenge, I would say. And obviously the pace of commercial work, it doesn't kind of lend to usually what personal work is. So personal work is much more slower, lots of research, and you almost have to kind of find that middle path and then pull back into it.